How to pass a support worker interview. This video will cover the following. 1. Sample support worker questions. 2. Recommended answers to help you pass the interview. 3. An outline of the role of a support worker.
And 4. Support worker key terms to know.
Question 1. Tell me about yourself and why you want to be a support worker. As a insert the relevant previous role, I have a lot of experience in helping people and dealing with them on a one-to-one basis. The skills and experience I have gained while doing this, mentioned the previous role, are particularly relevant to this post, and I find this type of work very rewarding. I also have the ability to follow rules, regulations and procedures, as in my previous role. With these 2 points together, I feel I can carry out the role of a support worker to the appropriate standards. In summary, I really enjoy making a difference to people's lives, and I understand the level of responsibility needed for the role. You can depend on me to be consistent and reliable and work to a high standard. Question 2. What makes a good support worker? A support worker needs to be educated about the client's needs. They need to be a good listener, show mutual respect, and have good communication skills. The skills and qualities of a support worker are varied and require you to be patient, use common sense, and be open-minded. As a support worker, you need to give the service user as much decision-making as possible. A good support worker provides support to helping service users gain independence and not doing things for them and taking over. Finally, they should be flexible and be able to adapt as each client is different and an individual. Tips. Research the skills and qualities of a support worker and provide some examples of this in your answer. Question 3. Why do you want to work for our organisation? I am always careful about the organisation I work for. In this role, you have to have the support needed to carry out the support work professionally. When I first saw the post advertised, I carried out a bit of research into the CURS standards and the code of conduct you expect your staff to adhere to. I feel the standards that you expect from staff and the standards that I hold are closely aligned. I particularly like the patient-centred approach that is stated on your website and how it is tailored around the unique needs of the individual. Tips. Do some research about the company and select some phrases mentioned in the literature which expresses yours and their values. Example. What stood out for me was how you make sure to carefully match the support team with each person, considering the team's skills, knowledge and specialism. Question 4. How would you prioritise your workload as a support worker? I am a highly organised and efficient worker. As a, mention your previous role, I have plenty of experience in prioritising my workload. I will assess what needs to be done first before doing the work well to company standards. There will be times where I need to amend my working day in order to respond to urgent tasks and support work, and I am confident that I can adapt and be flexible in meeting the needs of the service user and the ever-changing demands of the role. Tips. It will be helpful to include an example or two of when you prioritise your workload in a previous role. Question 5. A nurse asks you to give some medication to a patient. What do you do? I have a duty of care to the service user, so I would ask what it is and the reason and inform the service user and record the time on the medication sheet. However, unless I was trained to administer the medication, I would say no. I will always be helpful but will stay within my boundaries and stick to the company's code of conduct. If I was not trained to give this medication, I would politely refuse and give the reasons why. Tips. This is a difficult question to answer, so be aware of how it is phrased and respond cautiously. Question 6. What are your strengths and weaknesses? One of my key strengths is my patient and caring nature. The second is my ability to work independently and manage my own workload. My other strength is my reliability and ability to adapt to situations placed in front of me. Weakness. I have a weakness in doing presentations to large numbers of people, but good planning helps a lot with my nerves. Tips. It is wise to include 3 strengths and only 1 weakness, so the emphasis is on your strengths. Also, even though you mention a weakness, it is good practice to include a way you have overcome or minimised the weakness. Again, give an example where possible of each strength drawing from your previous role. Question 7. What hours can you work? I can work flexible shifts during the day, evenings, nights and over the weekend. I am also open to working bank holidays when required. I am reliable and punctual, and proof is in my previous roles of working as a... Give an example. Tips. The employer is waiting to hear you say you are available to work the following: days, nights, weekends and bank holidays. By saying I am available for a large portion of the week, you're giving yourself the best possible chance of success. Question 8. You find the person collapsed on the floor. What do you do? I would assess the situation quickly and determine whether I need to use my first aid training. I would call for help nearby for support depending on the setting and what type of building I was in, and call for medical assistance if needed. Calling 999 for emergency services and using my first aid training if required. If the service user is alright and not requiring medical assistance, I will report the incident to my supervisor as soon as possible and record the accident in my client's notes. Tips. This is another difficult question and situation to be in. There can be a lot of assumptions here, so you need to express how well you will respond and follow the company's procedures and policy, depending on the situation you find yourself in. Question 9. What would you do if you suspected abuse or neglect? I would report this quickly as possible to my safeguarding officer and record my observations confidentially to the appropriate person. I would follow the company's policy in reporting it and await advice and instruction. I will be vigilant and aware of the possible following scenarios: A. Unsanitary conditions. B. Unexplained injuries. C. Patient disclosure and ask for help. D. Notice any changes in behaviour. Tips. This is a safeguarding issue and requires a sensitive and thoughtful answer. You need to emphasise the key values and state that everyone should be treated with dignity and people's basic needs need to be met free from abuse. Also mention your duty of care to the service user. Question 10. How would you deal with an angry or disgruntled client? I hopefully would have a good knowledge of the person I was caring for and their medical condition, and what their baseline is, and what triggers may cause upset. I would get to know the client well enough to know how to calm them down and what coping strategies to use. I would listen to the client and their concerns, and I would be calm and composed and respectful of their situation and maintain a professional manner. Overall, I would try to de-escalate the situation. Tips. Your answer will depend on the circumstance, and you should be able to explain how you will cope in general terms to calm the situation. Question 11. A co-worker starts arguing with you. What do you do? I would quickly as I could move away from the client so it is not done in front of them, and remain professional, and behave as if my voice and behaviour was being recorded, so staying polite and professional at all times. I would then try to de-escalate the situation by being calm and composed. I would listen to the co-worker and hopefully resolve the problem in a professional manner. Tips. Demonstrate how calm and professional you would be, maintaining the reputation and standards of the company. Express how you would not neglect the service user and try and resolve the argument or disagreement in a more suitable place and time with your co-worker. Question 12. What are the main challenges and rewards of a support worker? One of the rewards of being a support worker is seeing how you make a difference to someone's life and seeing progress and development in their interactions yourself and others. However, there are challenges, and these can vary depending on the person you are caring for, but being careful not to overstep boundaries is one to be aware of while working. Tips. Being aware of the challenges of the role demonstrates your understanding of what the role actually entails. Use this as an opportunity to show how well you know the role and your responsibilities in this position. What is the role of a support worker? The role is to enable people to remain independent at home by helping people with personal care, medication, household tasks and other activities which help them maintain their quality of life. The service you provide allows them to live an independent life as much as possible, completing daily living skills, enjoying numerous activities, and continue to maintain their presence within the community. As a support worker, you may offer the following support: medication management, moving and positioning, personal care, support with mealtimes, support with correspondence, support in attending hospital and doctor appointments, companionship, and outreach support. You may support them to go to work, do personal tasks, do household jobs, or enjoy their favourite hobby. These are key terms you need to know before your interview. Not everyone knows what these terms mean, but this should provide more clarity. 1. Personal care. This involves supporting someone with their personal hygiene, such as showering, toileting, and oral hygiene, such as brushing your teeth. 2. Safeguarding. This means protecting an adult's rights to live in safety, free from abuse and neglect, while at the same time making sure the adult's well-being is promoted. 3. Waking nights. Staying overnight to ensure the needs of the service user are met, i.e. administering medication or providing personal care. 4. Sleeps. A sleep shift involves you sleeping at the workplace, and as a support worker you must be able to support the service user if required. But this shift allows you to get some sleep and be rested. Good luck.